All right, thank you so much, then, for that wonderful introduction. Hi, I'm RequiemOfSpirit. I am a Link to the Past and Breath of the Wild speedrunner, not Ocarina of Time. I know, I'm sorry, we're working on that. I'm going to be running A Link to the Past, all dungeons, restricted major glitches. Lots of words, lots of things there. Before we talk about that, though, I have some wonderful people behind me on the couch. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Hi, my name is Twin. I kind of run this game, and I love watching it, so I'm here.
Hi, I'm Fox. I taught Requiem everything he knows.
But yeah, sure. So why don't we just get started with the countdown on go. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so restricted major glitches. We have 3 rule sets for this game. We have, the classic no major glitches, what we're running right now, restricted, and a major glitches category. The what you can do in restricted major glitches, it allows you to do basically whatever you want to do in the overworld while restricting your movement down in like the dungeons and caves, the underworld. And so the result that you're going to see is we completely change the dungeon order. We can do whatever we want, the world's our oyster. While in dungeons, if you're not a fan of glitches, then we still have some stuff for you. Most of the dungeons still feature no major glitches gameplay. So something for everyone. And I guess to sort of showcase that, in the start here, you're expected to do the Hyrule Castle escape sequence and rescue Zelda. But that takes a bit too long. We have to go all the way to the bottom, pick up Zelda, walk through a whole bunch of sewers before dropping her off at the sanctuary. We're going to skip that for now. Fox or Twin, you guys want to walk through the sequence of steps we go through to skip that?
Yeah, so what we're going to do here, Requiem is we'll grab this sword here, and then he's going to do a very difficult trick called the Uncle Jump, which is going to allow him to jump off of this ledge. There are other ledges we could jump off of if we didn't have this trick, but this saves a little bit of time. And then by jumping off this cliff, off this ledge, and saving and quitting in midair, it will allow us to skip past the guards that are in place before you've completed the escape, and will allow us to get to Eastern as the first dungeon that we get to. Eastern is normally the second dungeon you do, or the first full dungeon. The escape is kind of the tutorial segment. But we want to go do that first because it gives us the boots, which allow us to move much faster and also make a number of glitches much easier. So there we go. You see he just kind of rammed his face into that rail for a couple of seconds and then was able to jump off the ledge. And now we're going to do another glitch. We have to get this weird state. We call it Lonk. It's a sort of halfway state between Link state and Bunny state. You're a bunny in the Dark World before you have the Moon Pearl, and you can kind of get half of that by getting stabbed into a doorway by this guy here. And if you look closely, once we get in the door, you'll see Link is walking kind of funny. His animation is like skipping every 3rd frame or something like that. And then we're going to use that to hop under the floor outside, and then the guard can't see us when we're under the floor.
Yep, we could just walk right through him.
Yeah, being a bunny is super important here. If we were regular Link, then we would take shock damage from that instead, and that won't put us under the floor. But yeah, with that, we walk under this guard, and we have finally escaped Hyrule Castle. We're not through yet. As you might know, there are still a few guards blocking a whole bunch of the pathways to Eastern Palace, and this is going to showcase what you might see a lot in this run. Diagonal walls in this game are just a suggestion, and to showcase that right here, I'm going to perform some inputs to clip into this wall. And with the right set of movements here, we can jump halfway into this transition, and when you do that and take the transition, you just walk straight past the water, straight past that barricade, onto the bridge, and we're off to Eastern. Now, I don't need to do anything more. I could just walk into Eastern normally, but that's no fun. We can save a bit more time by clipping to the entrance of Eastern instead. I'm going to get here and do another set of precise inputs to teleport onto this cliff.
And then once we're on the cliff, which will be in just a second, we'll do something that we're going to do a number of times in this, where we're going to take a ledge hop that takes us below the bottom of the screen. And when that happens, you wrap up to the top of the screen, and so the entrance to Eastern is just right here, and you can walk right in.
But yeah, Eastern is, we don't have much equipment. There's a lot of things you can do that are illegal in this category. So why don't we pass it over to Zen? Just a few quick donations.
My pleasure. Here is $500 from the NASR. They said, I had to save my donation for Link to the Past, my favorite, and in my personal opinion, best Zelda. This donation is dedicated to all the doctors of the world. That includes my father, who is no longer with us. He would spend his time off watching me play games, including Link to the Past. Thank you so much for your generosity with a massive donation like that, and for sharing the story of how this game and how our marathons have touched your heart. Here's $500 as well from Henry R. that says, love watching GDQ with my dad. Can't wait for the Link to the Past run. $50 from Piano Man JB that said, when Zelda Link to the Past is being played, I simply must donate. Hard to believe that 35 years ago, this was the first game I bought with my own money. Can't wait to see it played to absolute perfection.
So the rest of Eastern is pretty normal. To give you a little bit of context on this run, the route that we're doing now was mostly figured out about 6 years ago. For a long time, we had to do the escape first because you can't actually save and quit in this game until after you've talked to your uncle. And we didn't know a fast way to skip the escape sequence for a very long time. And then a runner in 2020 named Blank42 worked out a combination of tricks that I think all of them were already known, but he sort of did a bunch of science and timing on the combination that allows us to do this much more creative route at the beginning. Again, one of the big time saves is that we get the boots earlier. Another big one is that it allows us to do some dungeons in different orders that we'll talk about a little more as we get to them. And then there will also be kind of an exciting surprise trick that we have for you later.
I don't know if those watching could hear, but if you listen, you can actually still hear the rain going on. Then that's because we have not rescued Zelda yet.
Yeah.
So that's a flag that will stick with us for a while.
You do actually have to rescue Zelda to complete this category. It's in the rules of the category, so we will be doing that.
We do count Hyrule Castle as a dungeon.
Yes. And this is an all dungeons run.
Yep.
Yeah, for anyone who was watching close there, we went through a screen where we're supposed to collect the big key, but instead of defeating all the enemies like you're supposed to do, we can just damage boost straight to the pod that has the switch that gives us the big key. So pretty nice skip there.
We're stocking up on arrows here. We need a lot of arrows for a glitch that we're going to do momentarily. So we're good on those.
This is just Armos, just 18 arrows, and he's dead.
Or
And
19.
one for the wall.
One for the wall.
All right, remember to set index,
All right, thank you.
and you're good on money.
Yes.
Yeah, so you'd notice that I switched the lamp there. You might think that seems like a waste of a menu. While the pendant is falling, you actually get a free menu, and this lamp is pretty important. As soon as I exit this dungeon, I'm gonna lamp 3 times. I'm not sure how in-depth we want to go into this. So Fox, do you want to take care of, do you want to talk about what we're doing and setting up for in the future? Or can we hold off for later?
We're just doing setting up shenanigans for later in the run.
I'm throwing all the hard balls to Fox.
Good, because I don't know anything other than shenanigans.
There's a moderate amount of like complicated memory manipulation that we do in this run. If you want to learn more about it, maybe join the Link to the Past Discord. People love talking about this stuff in there, but it's pretty hard to explain during the run. So we'll mention it when we get to it, but the details are pretty complicated.
But yeah, now we have the Pegasus boots. So you've noticed earlier that to clip into the diagonal walls, I had to do some pretty specific, precise movement, a whole bunch of sword buffers you might have seen there. Now that we have the boots, a lot of that is trivialized. We're starting with a minor glitch here called spin speed, where if we hit the A button, the same frame we release the B button, we can keep the super speed. And to showcase how broken these boots can be, instead of being precise, I can just clip straight into walls. If I get in the right position, I can just teleport onto them, and we can go where we want. That was what we call a Chex Hop, something invented by Chex Human. It doesn't save time, but it looks cool.
It can save time, but it definitely didn't right there.
Nope, did not.
Nope.
So now we're gonna climb up the mountain. So normally in this game, to get up to Death Mountain, or Mount Hebra technically in the light world, you're supposed to have the glove from the second dungeon, but we're not gonna go to the second dungeon for quite a long time. So we're gonna do a trick here. It's called New DMA. It was discovered almost 10 years ago. And this takes us right past the glove, the rock that you need the glove to lift, and it'll let us do the sequence where we rescue the old man and get our mirror.
That was another map wrap, correct?
Screen
no,
wrap.
screen wrap. That's
Screen
right.
wrap.
Map wraps are the other way. Just for those who are sensitive, there is some graphical glitchy stuff coming up, and it does flash quite a bit. So once we exit this cave with the old man, the game is a little confused because of brain state. And so we still have clouds and the lightning flashes, and it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, it looks terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is what the rain looks like on the mountain. Really pretty.
That's what it looks like in real life, too.
The upside of this is that there's no boulders coming down.
Oh,
Yes.
So now we're going to do, this is called Kiki Yeet. I don't really understand exactly how this works, but it sort of throws us across the screen, and then we can do some movements. We're not really doing anything glitchy here except that the camera is all screwed up, but we're just hopping down into a cave here. And then I'm going to briefly talk about the underworld map. So all the caves and dungeons in the game are laid out on one big like 2x2 grid, or sometimes we call it a quilt. And we're currently in the very bottom of that grid, and so we go below the bottom of that grid, and that takes us all the way up to a room on the top of the grid. And this room is in the first Dark World dungeon, which is called Palace of Darkness. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to collect the big key and the hammer. And getting the big key while you're in a cave for like complicated, annoying technical reasons gives you a cave, gives you the big key that works in the cave and also works in Hyrule Castle and the second and third Light World dungeons. And so this is going to save us quite a lot of time, but we will, as Requiem put it yesterday, have to pay for our sins later on by coming back to this dungeon
Two
two
more
times instead of only once to finish it. And that's going to be really cool when we get to it, but that's not for a little bit. So right now we grab the big key, and then we're going to go over to the big chest. We're going to do what is technically considered a minor glitch called hammer jump to get across a pit and into a railing.
Now, Fox, we're in a cave.
Yes.
How are we opening key doors?
So whenever you're in a cave, you start with 255 keys, and that's enough to open the doors that are there.
Okay.
Yeah, the game only just checks. If you have 0 keys, then you can't open a door. But in cave state, it sets it to 255, and it's assigned to not render the keys. But because we're not at 0, we can just open every single key door.
You will also notice that there are no sprites, enemy sprites or anything, and that includes the falling bridge here, which makes the hammer jump free because it's not timed anymore.
Yes, much easier.
Yeah. Now, the sprites do spawn. I believe they spawn like 60,000 pixels above where we are, so we can't see them.
Yeah.
They're just not there.
Yeah. All right, so now we've done a bit of shopping. We've grabbed that big key, we've grabbed our hammer. Now, I think it's finally time to save Zelda. So, clipping into this cliff here, we can jump all the way around the map and, maybe a bit more, and dashing on the screen. It might not look it, but we're actually on top of Hyrule Castle, and we can enter this right side door. It's finally time to make our way to Zelda.
So I think we could probably get a donation in while we're making our way to Zelda.
Yeah, I think so.
Here's a $500 donation from the NK. They said, greetings from backstage here. Have some help for the glitch exhibition and the bonus game. I want to point out in the 12-ish minutes we've been on this game, we have raised over $16,000 and counting.
Nice work.
And the vast majority of it has gone towards that glitch showcase, bringing us to 114,000 of the 200,000 we need, 85,000 to go. And a quick reminder on that, we are officially racing Rec here. We have to be at RequiemOfSpirit to get this before the end of the run. And while we're at it, we're also double dipping. Get us to that $2 million, that milestone. Super Dram World 3 Kaizo will be unlocked. We can do it together. Let's make it happen, gamers.
So I want to say, I saw the glitches that are in the exhibition, and my jaw was on the floor. Like, I play this game, and some of those glitches were like blowing my mind. So.
Yeah, so Requiem, if we do get to see the glitch showcase, he's going to be showing off some new, very heavy-duty tech that was only discovered just a couple months ago. So if you're not like actively keeping up with this game every day, it will be almost certainly new to you. Very cool stuff.
Rec, you're supposed to kill that guy.
No, we don't need that. We got the big key from the cave state. That lets us skip that door entirely. We're not supposed to do that. So right now, I'm supposed to take Zelda through the sewers, but instead, I'm going to save and quit. And what that does is if I mirror, it just takes me to the sanctuary. Who needs to go through the sewers?
So Requiem is going to do some incorrect movement here because he's playing on the SNES Classic.
That is
which
right.
Emulates lag incorrectly, and anyway.
A lot of people don't like that this text is moving very fast, but you know, it is an official Nintendo console.
That's true.
So you'll also notice that the text is in Japanese, and that's because some of the glitches that we need to use in this run are a Japanese 1.0 exclusive. They patched them out in later versions. So almost every single run that you'll see is done on the Japanese 1.0 version.
Yeah, so most of the major glitches, to my knowledge, work on all versions, but there's a number of, like we saw the spin speed right after we got the boots to allow you to move at dashing speed without having to charge a dash every time you turn. That's one of the minor glitches that's only in 1.0, and we use that a lot in this run, actually.
Yeah, right there, I clipped straight through a wall, and we did another one of those screen wraps to jump all the way to the top of the screen, where we landed on the stairs that enters into Tower of Hera. So Tower of Hera is the closest dungeon we have to a save and quit point, so that's going to be our destination for now.
And we're going to beat this dungeon now, right?
We might. Stay tuned, stay tuned.
You'll note that we did not collect the big key for Tower of Hera. That's one of the benefits of doing the Cave State route earlier, that we got the big key in Cave State Pod.
Yeah.
That gave us that big key as well.
That Cave State big key gives us so much time saved, because we get the big keys for Escape, as you saw, for Tower of Hera, as you saw, we didn't get it here, and also for Desert. So a lot of the front of these dungeons just skips. It amounts to like minutes of time saved. Did a bomb jump there to collect the orb, and now we're going to be making a short trip to a different dungeon. I don't like it here.
Oh, fire.
Oh, fire's gonna...
Oh, we can beat it. We can beat it.
Hold? All right, there we go.
Nice.
I wasn't worried at all.
So now we are in Swamp Palace. That's right, Swamp Palace and Hera are right next to each other. We're going to be collecting the hook shot early.
So you remember those 3 lamp things that we did earlier? That's to set up this trick here.
So if you do the lamps right, and then you have those 3 arrows and those 2 bombs on screen.
6 arrows, wasn't it?
You need, yeah. You shoot 6 arrows. You end up with 3 arrows left on
Okay.
screen at the end. And then you can swim without flippers if you get the timing right.
Yep, having that many sprites on screen just makes it so that the splash doesn't spawn, and those lamps were very important to making sure that the splash doesn't spawn. It's a lot of complicated memory management. But yeah, we have the hook shot, but you know what? I don't feel like beating Tower of Hera now. We'll come back later.
What do you feel like doing instead, Requiem?
Instead, I'm going to take my 5 hearts and go to a Dark World dungeon. We're heading to Thieves Town. This dungeon we're actually going to beat now. I promise. But yeah, we are on very low health. Thieves Town and the dungeons we do right after are very scary. So right there, I clipped through the floor. I had to dash up there, because if I held up normally, that would actually be a hard lock, and I'd lose the 2 minutes of progress I just had. Thankfully, we didn't do that. And now we're just freely roaming the Dark World.
So Thieves Town is our next dungeon. One of the reasons that this is nice is because the boss takes the same amount of damage from everything, so it doesn't matter that we only have the baby sword right now. And it will also allow us to get the big boy sword after this dungeon.
Yeah, unfortunately, because you're supposed to come here with the Master Sword, a lot of these enemies that might die in one hit just don't die. So I am perpetually scared. But it's okay. A lot of these screens you can just dash straight through, and in most cases, you are fine.
Yeah, if you're familiar with the no major glitches version of this run, the inside of this dungeon is going to look almost the same as that. There's one room where we have to do it a little bit differently, but very familiar to any glitchless runners.
I bet we could get a donation in.
Sure.
Here's a very, very generous $1,024 donation from Core Yggdrasil. A lot of the ones coming up to my host desk right now are very large ones, so thank you to everyone for your generosity. Yggdrasil had said, love you all and what you do, and is one of the many people who have donated to help bring that glitch showcase within $75,000 remaining and counting. Keep it up, gamers. Make sure you select that incentive at the bottom of the page to make it happen. Together we can, but there's already under an hour left in that estimate, so we are racing a truly incredible runner that is Requiem of Spirit.
Yeah, we just passed the screen that we call the Hellway, and you have to be on one specific pixel to dash straight through, but even if you are, the enemies can block your path. As you can see, I had a bit of trouble dodging everything that they were throwing at me.
Yeah, he actually did get the pixel, but just blocked.
So coming up, for those of you who have played the game vanilla, there's this room with a giant block that usually you can just lift up and go straight down. But we don't have any gloves.
That's true. There are gloves in this dungeon, and those are the only gloves that we're going to get. These are the good gloves, and then we just never pick up the bad gloves.
If we picked up, so we're gonna pick up the Titan's mitts here in just a minute. which are the upgraded gloves for this, this game. You'll see Rek here is doing all this. He's got to kill all these enemies with the hammer because it does tempered sword damage. We're going to go pick up the maiden over here in the cell, pick up the key, so then we can go back and pick up the gloves, or the Titan's mitts. When we do desert later, if we were to pick up the power gloves, which is the lower, what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
Tier.
Upgrade.
Tier.
The lower tier, yeah.
Yeah.
It would actually overwrite these Titan's mitts, and then we would not be able to finish the game.
Yeah, so in general, the game will let you downgrade stuff as long as the developers didn't think that it was possible to do it in that order. So like you can't downgrade the red mail to the blue mail because that's possible to do glitchless, and so they put in a check to prevent you. But you can go ahead and upgrade or downgrade your mitts if you want to.
There's actually a category that lets you downgrade your sword multiple times.
There's a category that forces you to downgrade your sword multiple times. All right, so this is blind. This is the boss of the dungeon. This is a scripted fight. Almost certainly, Requiem will do exactly the thing he always does, and nothing will go wrong. It looks pretty hectic, and if you mess up at all, it actually becomes very hectic, but all of this movement is completely predictable, and blind moves the same way every time, and there we go.
Yeah. So dying in that boss is more scary than dying in most other bosses, because that boss in specific, the refight is much, much harder. There isn't a script you can follow, so most of it is just go get sword beams, slash, and pray. But we didn't have to do that, so that's good.
And with this first crystal cutscene, I think it's a good time for a donation or two.
Perfect. Here's $25 here from Lit and Crazy that says, good luck on the run, Rek. We know you're going to crush it. It's been great spending time with you this week at GDQ. Also got $5 here from Mikey and said, hey, Rek, it's your buddy Mikey. Super proud of you for running on the big stage. Does this run do Dingle Skip by chance? Much love, brother.
You'll see Dingle Skip soon.
Fantastic. And a $25 donation. There's some excitement for that one. $25 here from Senor Tapir that says, good luck, brother. I know you're going to knock this run out of the park with all the practice you have done.
All right, so now that that dungeon is done, we have a little bit of shopping to do. We need to pick up the book, which is what we're doing here. And then after that, we'll rescue the frog. We'll get our tempered sword. We need to pick up a little bit of money, and then we'll head to our next dungeon.
Yeah, so we're going to need 500 rupees, I guess 510 rupees for the rest of the run. We're going to get 300 of it here, so that makes the rest of the rupee routing very easy. And yeah, I think we can do a couple more donations during this collection sequence.
Happy to. Quick update, we are now under 70,000, just a little over 66,000 away for that glitch showcase. Let's absolutely make it happen. You do specifically have to select those incentives at the bottom of the page when you're donating, getting us all the way there and then some. We have $5 here from Nuki that said, hi, Spirit. It's a little unbelievable to say that I have known you for 8 years now. I've been here in Minneapolis for just a few days, and it will always be beyond my own words to be able to spend time with you and our friends here at GDQ and wherever else it may be. I cherish you very dearly as a friend, and for you to be on the stage is truly an exciting time for all of us. From going on a side quest and getting the totally prestigious Butter Dog world record to showing off a ridiculously hard category such as this, I'm very proud of you. P.S. I'll even graciously invite you to do all the trees with us. You won't decline, right?
What's this about all trees?
I bet we have time for one more.
Here's 15 from MZ that said, go, Rek, go! Can't wait to watch you slay this TLOZ, ALTTP, ADRMQ, LMNOP speedrun. Best of luck. You got this.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Anyway, we've finished our shopping sequence here. We're heading to our next dungeon, which is Skull Woods. Like Twin mentioned, we have a bunch of these items that we need to shop for. There's like 4 items. The book was one of them, and we have 3 others, apart from the items we collect in dungeons, of course. And,
That's not good.
took a little hug to the spear there. Don't hug spear.
That's fine.
Would not recommend.
We don't want beams anyway.
Oh, good. We didn't fall in that hole. We don't want to fall in that hole.
He fell in that hole in practice yesterday.
He fell in that hole in practice earlier today.
They don't even know that.
So this is this is a pretty difficult dungeon, especially on low hearts. You're in pretty serious danger of dying.
Okay.
There's not a lot of glitches. This is very much another dungeon that's very much like the normal no major glitches run. Okay, I thought you were going to dash into that spike, but we're safe.
Yeah, a lot of things can get very chaotic in these two rooms with those mummies. The mummies do 2 hearts each, and they take 4 slashes to kill, so you don't want to have to deal with them.
So now we're going to go pick up the fire rod, and then we're going to head to the back.
Yeah, normally in NMG you come here with what, like a couple more hearts? It's a bit safer. So being low on health is a little bit scarier. We should be fine.
We should be fine, yeah.
Yeah.
I like to give him a hard time, but Requiem is actually good at this game and will not have any trouble fighting Mothula.
Does that mean I can blame you if things go wrong?
Oh, I'm used to it.
Let's try to get one more donation in.
My pleasure. Here was a $10 donation from Frozen Flagon that said, thank you to our first-time donors, and sincerely I want to reflect that. Thank you to everyone who tuned in, especially after that Iron Mouse segment, and decided to donate to help the amazing cause that is Doctors Without Borders. We could not do that without you, and you are the reason that we are now so near to 1.85 million and counting. Be sure to keep getting those donations in. And if you can't donate, just share the stream around. We've got YouTube and Twitch these days. Thank you, audience.
So yeah, these final screens to the boss are pretty difficult. A lot of stuff here can hurt quite a bit. So we're trying our best not to hug any of the enemies here.
Here we want to slash the mummy into the spike because the mummy takes extra damage from the spike, which is in stark contrast to the next enemy we kill who takes no damage from spikes.
Yeah, this is Mothula. Spikes are our biggest enemy here.
Yeah, you take Moth out of the arena, and they're a pushover.
Okay.
Okay, we're fine.
All right,
Okay.
we're fine.
But yeah, like, I was trying to be a bit more careful there. If you slash Mothula, it resets her attack pattern, but if you slash her into the spikes, obviously it's doing no damage. So I'm trying to very carefully either slash her away from the spikes or into the blocks. Yeah, we're through with that. This early game is honestly one of the scarier parts of this run because you're doing all of this on very low health. But yeah, now that we're done with that, we can finally return to Tower of Hera right after this crystal cutscene, which, speaking of crystals, that's key for donations.
Heard, we got 2 really big donations here. If you're on site, you know we had several vendors, and we also had a really cool escape room. So 2 of them that came through, 500 from the Kitten Bomb, one of the amazing vendors, that said, with love from the vendor, Allie, thanks to all staff, volunteers, runners, and attendees for all your support this week. Thank you to everyone that picked up a Clicky Fidget. Welcome to the Clicky Cult, as well as a $1,250 donation from Twisted Tales Escape. Wow! They said, huge thanks to GDQ for having us back. We have been having a blast hosting the escape room this year. The Legend of Zelda series is a huge inspiration for us in designing our escape rooms, so of course we had to donate during this run. Thanks to all of our amazing players and supporters, we are able to donate this amount for such an amazing cause that's so needed in today's world. Thanks again, GDQ, and everyone involved for making this event happen. And of course, trans rights!
So here we get to bypass basically the entire dungeon with the hookshot. Well, yeah, there we go.
Now we get to.
Now we get to.
Yeah.
That's called Herapod.
With that fast speed, we can clip 1 pixel into the pot, which allows us to hook the other side and walk straight through. But yeah, this is one of the reasons coming back is we now have the Temperate Sword, which means Moldorm is super easy to kill. But the more important reason is right after the... Oh,
That's fine.
there we go. When you fire the hookshot out, you have invulnerability frames, so this combination makes it super easy to defeat Moldorm, which was probably most of our childhood nightmares.
Yes.
But no, the real reason we're doing Hera this late is we want a health refill before the next dungeon. The next dungeon we're going to do is Misery Mire, which it requires us to collect the Ether Medallion. Now, the Ether Medallion is right next to us here, and we have the requirements for it now, which we didn't have last time.
Also, flashing lights warning. It is very bright.
So right after we collect this medallion, we need to get down to Misery Mire. Normally in glitchless gameplay, you'd use the flute to fly there and then pick up a rock to go to the Dark World. But we're just going to do, we're going to hop off the bottom of the screen, I don't remember exactly, maybe 4 times. And so what happens when you hop off the bottom of a screen is Link's coordinates keep moving down each time you do it. but your collision stays on the screen that you're on. So what we're going to do here is we're going to stay on this big screen and hop off the bottom of it a bunch of times and put our coordinates down at the very bottom of the map. And then when we transition left, the game will just look at what our coordinates actually are to know where to put us, and that will put us on the Misery Mire overworld screen.
This is called the Mire Super Jump. We are so
This is
original.
the super jumping part.
Yes. The Link to the Past community has great names for their glitches.
And with that transition left, we are in the Mire area. We jumped all the way
yeah.
from the top of the map to the bottom.
This is also kind of an annoying flashy screen. I forgot about this screen.
But yeah, this is what the rain looks like if you don't enter with like a normal mirror transition like you're supposed to. And right here, this is the camera trying to catch up with us. Unfortunately, we scrolled way too far. It's not going to catch up with us during the sequence. The dungeon's going to open before that, but it's trying its best.
The runner, Checkshuman, who we mentioned earlier, also found this. If you're moving down while you use the medallion, it scrolls the camera. And then the camera being slightly closer to where it's supposed to be makes the animation go faster.
Yeah, we're in another dungeon, which is, it's very similar to, Misery Mire is very similar to what we do in NMG.
Except you have a lot less health in this one. So the boss fight for this is even more scary.
Yeah, this is another dungeon where you have like normally 3 less hearts than usual. A lot of these things really like me. I'm not handing out free hugs today.
This is the last dungeon that's harder than the normal no glitches run. I think, right?
I think so.
Yeah, no major glitches. The run usually is done with no save and quit, meaning you have full health for every single split that you do. But in this case, since we save and quit a lot, we actually don't start with full health. So some dungeons can be a bit harder. That's where, shout outs to my old man, you give him a little bit of a hug and he'll restore your hearts for you. Which, you know, you might see a few times, just for safety's sake. We're coming up on probably the only bit of downtime that this run has. Lighting these 4 torches starts a cutscene of a moving wall on the screen to the right, and this is the only point where I can actually put my controller down.
Which means it's a good time for a donation, I think.
Absolutely. Here's a $500 donation from Crystal OR. They said, I can't believe we're almost at the finale for this year's SGDQ. It went by so fast, and I'm already looking forward to AGDQ. Thanks so much to everyone who made this possible. Let's get that Glitch Showcase incentive along with the Super Dram World bonus game. And in the time I've been reading that, we've officially crested past. We need less than $60,000 to get that Glitch Showcase. Please make sure you're selecting that incentive when you're putting in your donation. And every single time we get a donation of any kind, you're helping us get towards that milestone of 2 million to unlock Super Dram World 3 Kaizo. These need to be done before the end of this A Link to the Past run. Time is running out quickly. We're already past 30 minutes in the run. There's like 45 left, give or take. We got to get to it now, gamers.
So we're going to pick up an item here that...
This is probably most Link to the Past runners' most favorite item, if I had to hazard a guess.
Glitched runners, especially. You can do some really cool stuff with this item, the Cane of Samaria.
We're barely going to do anything with it in this
Yes.
run, but if you meet that glitch incentive, you'll get to see some of the cooler stuff.
Yes. Also, while we're just going to do this, well, I'll wait a minute, because we're going to come up on Spooky here.
Yeah,
And
so I'm
Spooky
going
is
to-
worth a shout out.
Yeah, I'm going to place this block and throw it into the pit here, and that's very important. That now changes how my fire rod works. So the next time I shoot the fire rod at an object, it's going to displace its area of effect, and it's going to send it very high up. And we're going to use that to our advantage in the screens that are coming here. There's a spooky setup for the No Major Glitches run as well, which uses the duck instead, but we don't have the flute, so we can't use that. All right, in this screen, things go well. Nice. So
Very
hitting
good.
that anti-fairy hits a switch that is off-screen.
In this room, we're hitting a switch that's on screen, but
So-
we don't have to go all the way up to the top. You can see there.
Yeah, hitting that block and then walking upwards moves the area of effect with it and hits the block that's up there.
So this boss, Requiem, is going to take 4 hearts of damage on purpose, and the fight is similar to Blind, it's sort of a scripted fight. It goes the same way every time if you do it right. But unlike Blind, anything in this fight will instantly kill you if you make a mistake.
Yes. It is very scary.
It's fine. Everything's fine. Okay.
Everything's fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
You guys probably can't tell on stream, but Requiem is mashing his arrows, and he shouldn't be.
No, we love mashing the button.
Mashing the buttons is good. Everyone should mash buttons.
Yes.
All right. Another donation?
Fantastic. I love when the donors do the work for me. Here's $100 from Big Love Gaming that said, nice speedrun. It would be a shame if we didn't get to see that glitch showcase. How about 20 tickets to the $5 dono train to help us get there, as well as $5 from Gishusaji that said $5 hype train to Super Dram World 3. We need more GDQ. Let's aim for that 45-minute mark in the run here. Get those $5 donos in. I'll start firing them off when we got time. We've crested past 1.85 million, but there's still plenty of room to get to that 2 million, but we can only do it together, gamers. Let's get those donos in.
All right, so
we're coming up on the last use of that cave state big key we picked up. We're entering Desert Palace, which normally there's a lot of Desert Palace to see. We're going to skip all of that. We have the big key for Desert, or at least the game thinks we does anyway. So heading over here, we're just going to head straight into the back. Skipping the whole front of Desert saves minutes of time, and this is the last bit of time save we get from that. From this point onward, we're going to have to be paying back to the game for all of the cheating we've been doing. Unfortunately, since we picked up that big key in Cave State, we do not get the Palace of Darkness big key. So there's no way for us into the boss unless we go back in Cave State and open that door. So that means another revisit to the Palace of Darkness that's coming up soon.
One of the cool things about this game from a game design perspective is that this dungeon, it's in two parts. Like there's two totally separate chunks of this dungeon, which is like, you know, this is back in the Super Nintendo days. That wasn't like a common thing. It was kind of cool. We're just entirely skipping the whole first chunk of it.
and we have the fire rod. So I'm sorry, Clear Mouse, if you are watching. We do not get to watch Bo Lanmo. We are going to hit each worm with hopefully 2 fire rod shots, and that will take care of them very quickly.
Oh, come on. Okay, never mind.
Never mind. There we go.
There we go. We got it. We're going to take advantage of another free menu here. We need a bomb in just a second because we're going to do a trick here. This is one of the few tricks in this run that has serious like run-ending potential. It's called a map wrap, so we're going to clip off of the west side of the map, and that's the overworld map, and that's going to take us all the way to the east side of the map. And while we're in that state, we can only move left. As long as we move left, or up or down, everything is totally fine. But if we move even a single pixel to the right, we hit an illegal transition, and we are hard locked. We can no longer even save and quit out of that. So.
And we'll have to redo, what, 2, 3 dungeons?
Yeah, that is what you would have to do. But for Marathon, we have a safety save backup if we need it.
All right.
You can see how that bomb explosion moved Link like 1 pixel. That's because Link hit the illegal transition that's sort of trailing him across the screen.
Yeah, that is, like, I've gone through all of these dungeons with very low health. That is still probably the scariest part of the run, because if we hit that, we lose, what, like 10 minutes of progress?
But we don't have to worry about it, because you're good at this game. Okay, so we're going to go into pod now in Cave State. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, we got another yeet.
So what we're doing here is, as Requiem was saying, the big key door, the door that leads to the boss of this dungeon, is still locked. And we have a big key that we can only use in Cave State. We can no longer get the big key of the real dungeon. So we have to revisit it in Cave State just to open the door, and then we can come back and actually fight the boss. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do a clip. It's called Basement Clip because you do it in the basement. As Twin said, we're very good at naming things.
Yeah, excellent naming skills in the community.
This is a fairly difficult trick. It was discovered basically upon request. We were trying to figure this out, and then this guy named Yuzu, who is a huge glitch hunter, found tons and tons of tech in this game. He hasn't been active for a while, but we owe quite a lot of things to him.
Yes.
He figured out this clip for us. We also talked about, I think we used the name Citrus Clip early on, one of those clips where you, at the very beginning of the run, where you teleport in a cliff. That was also found by Yuzu, among like 100 other things.
Yes.
And then actually at a different live in-person speedrunning event about two and a half years ago, this guy on stage right here, RequiemOfSpirit, found a new way to do this trick that makes it quite a lot easier. And so first we have to get this super speed here, which allows us to do some movements into the corner down at the bottom. We do need rupees also.
Yeah.
But so we need to be in super speed state for this clip to put us on the correct position after we teleport. And then once we're up here, Requiem found this sequence at the beginning where we use the way Link interacts with pushing a Samaria block is just like kind of weird. It stops his movement in weird ways. And it allows us to do the sequence of movements to move down a few pixels into the rail. And then that bomb puts us on a pixel where you can just dash left and cut through the rail. Very nice.
Yeah, that's like a sequence of like 20 one-frame inputs. It's fairly difficult, and that is the crux of this run. Without that trick, this entire run falls apart. We can't seal that cave save big key, and we're pretty much locked out of Palace of Darkness forever. But now that that's open, we can go back to Palace of Darkness and finally beat the boss, our third visit, but not just quite. Instead, we're going to make our way to Turtle Rock, get a refill on this magic, get an extra heart as well while we're there.
So we're going to do a different kind of glitch here called a mirror
Oh my
wrap.
god, Requiem.
Okay, there we go.
So we're going to set up in a specific way, and we're going to use the mirror and transition on the same screen, and it does shenanigans that they have explained to me like 3 times. I don't understand it. It moves us across the screen, and we're in the back of Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I don't really know all the details, but effectively it ends up putting you in the middle of the screen that you started from. So we moved to the screen that has this entrance in it, and then we did the mirror wrap, and then we transitioned back to the right, and we were just like right on top of that doorway.
So unfortunately, we do not have the big key for this dungeon, so we have to go backwards to get it.
Fortunately, this dungeon is a lot easier going backwards.
Yes.
Yeah, using things like mirrors or bottles on transitions is really broken. It's allowed in the overworld for this rule set, but not in the underworld. So a little bit of a spoiler for something you might see if we hit that glitch incentive.
Speaking of that glitch incentive, have we got any donations?
We've gotten so many. I want to update real quick. We've already crested past 1.86 million and counting,
Nice.
as well as we only have 45,000 left to get that glitch showcase. Keep getting those donations in. Time is running out quick. Requiem is going very fast. Helping us with that, we did get a $15 donation here from Vivianite that said, hello from your favorite manager. So proud to have been your friend for 7+ years. I know you'll kill it, and maybe I'll consider speedrunning Zelda in your honor. Maybe.
Shoutouts to Viv. I don't think I would have submitted this run if she didn't bait me into submitting.
You know this is a special occasion because I've never heard any of Requiem's chatters be nice to him before.
But yeah, we had to backtrack all the way here just for this big key. But now that we have it, we can mirror straight back, and the boss is really close by. One of the benefits of these dungeons being multi-entrance is you can skip straight to the end if the game lets you.
So this is another boss that's like kind of on rails, but if you do anything wrong, it becomes a real problem very fast. That's kind of a consistent theme in this game. We have really good strats for the boss, but if you don't execute them properly, backing them up is very scary. So hopefully everything just goes fine. Requiem has not done this boss correctly in practice since I've been here, so hopefully this is the time. There we go.
So we have to menu before the heads start to explode because you can't open the menu while anything is exploding on screen.
All right, we've got one more head. It's try next, not do next, duo next.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go. Very
Nice.
nicely done.
And that's another crystal, so we can get another donation or two.
Absolutely. We have so many donations that are already on top of it. A couple minutes early here, including this $100 from Chief Beef. That's at 20 tickets to the hype train to Super Dram World. Please, gotta donate during the best Legend of Zelda game to get more SGDQ. Do y'all agree this is the best Legend of Zelda game?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
We are within 129,000 of reaching that 2 million. We're getting there, but we gotta keep going fast. There's like 35 minutes left in the estimate on this run. We gotta get it as soon as possible, team. Let's get that 2 million together.
Yeah, so we're coming up here on what I believe is the last item that we need to shop for. We need the flippers. We have Swamp Palace coming up soon. We don't have a way to swim. And, you know, Zora's Domain is pretty far away. It's going to be quite a bit of a trek. This is, you know, one of the few cases where it's not just right there. So, to get there, we're going to enter the light world first, because Zora's Domain is in the light world. And with the right hops... Oh, that wasn't the right hop.
Nope. That's okay. We've got it back up.
Very easy backup, yeah.
We're now in Zora's Domain. Turns out, you know, Zora's Domain is right under Turtle Rock all this time.
You know, Requiem, you already swam once in this run. Are you sure you need the flippers?
That is true. All of these items like that we're getting in the overworld have one-off uses. Like we only use the book once, we only use ether once. We actually only use the flippers on like 3 screens, I believe, and one of those screens is mandatory. The final screen getting to the boss of Swamp Palace is we don't have a way to skip it.
Everybody watch King Sora's eyes. They go wibbly wobbly, and it's hilarious. I don't know why they programmed him this way, but yeah, I love it, and it's very quick. But if you get a chance, when he's talking to you, his eyes go wibbly wobbly, and it makes me laugh every time.
Yeah.
So are we going back to Pod now?
Yep, I've been talking about Swamp Palace.
Were you going to talk to the old man?
Oh, that's a good point. Helmsor is pretty scary, and this guy has been really helpful to give us a home to teleport to every time we save and quit. So we're going to give him a hug, and he gives us some hearts in return.
Requiem is not going to take any damage on this boss. This is totally unnecessary, just to be clear. Just to be clear.
So we've got one more yeet.
Yes, this is finally our last trip to Pod.
Yeah, I've been talking about Swamp a lot, but we still need to finish Palace of Darkness. So this is the 3rd and final visit. Hopefully we don't have any more visits in our books here.
I mean, I'd enjoy a 4th.
Oh.
So this time through the dungeon, you can actually just do the sort of intended route. We have the big door open at the end, and we could just walk there. But I believe that Requiem is going to do that clip again. It's a lot more fun and cool, and it is actually also faster.
So he's going to mirror here to fix what's called fake dark world. So since we entered the cave state pod in the light world, the game still thinks we're in the light world, but we really need to be in the dark world.
Yeah, if you were listening, you could hear the light world music for a little bit. Because we've already collected some of the pendants, the game, since we're in the light world, is going to be like, oh, wait, you've already collected the pendant for this dungeon, even though it's a crystal, and it just won't drop anything. There's like 3 dungeons that correspond to the pendants in the dark world, and if you have that sort of conflict, then you'll just be stuck in the boss room forever. Nothing will drop. So we had to fix that. That was pretty important. But now we're back here again. Like Fox said, this is significantly faster than going through the back, but it is also significantly harder. So you're definitely taking a risk-reward trade-off there.
Yeah, you have to do this clip quite well for it to save time. We also have to bait these turtles out of the way. They weren't there when we were in Cave State, so we didn't have to worry about that. But if you don't do that, then they can get in your way when you're trying to dash through the rail at the end and cause problems.
I guess we didn't talk about the bouncing Smario block. Fox, do you want to briefly touch on that and how we got super speed?
So if you have super speed armed and then you touch a staircase, you get to go super fast. And there's no staircases in this room except for the one in the doorway, so we have to hold a block. But if you just hold a normal block and then you hit the stairway, the block just, I think, goes away and you hit the transition. But for some reason, if you get a messed up block, it works. I don't know all the details. And so this is normally the first boss of the Dark World. You would normally be fighting him with fewer hearts and a weaker sword. So Rek's gonna take this super aggressively because he has infinite health.
Oh, we should have waited a bit there.
Nah.
Okay,
Yeah,
there we go.
easy peasy.
And that's another crystal. So I think we've got time for another donation or two.
Here is a big $250 donation from one of the Frost Fatale's ambassadors themselves, Game Boy Light. They said, hi GDQ, Light here, 50 tickets for the train, please. Let's get that glitch incentive met, chat. With that, we are now just over $35,000 away from that glitch showcase and about 30 minutes left in the run. We gotta make it happen as soon as possible, gamers. $1.87 million and counting for the amazing cause that is MSF. Please make sure you're going to gdq.gg twitch.tv/donate. We made it easy for you. Go on that page, select the incentives at the bottom, specifically grab that glitch showcase, and tell us anything you want, even if it's literally nothing. We will take it because you're helping such an amazing cause. Helping with that as well was $25 from Chex Human that said, let's go Requiem, let's get that glitch showcase.
Shout out to Chex.
Shout outs to Chex. Chex helped us time a lot of this route and compare it to some of the other routes we had. Put a lot of work into this game.
Chex is a runner of a lot of different glitch categories. Huge body of knowledge about this game. Also has made a ton of guides and stuff. Great guy.
Yeah, great guy. So now are we going to Swamp?
Yep, now we're heading off to Swamp Palace. Now, we collected the hookshot earlier, so if you remember your casual playthrough of Swamp Palace, or maybe you play speedrun this game or play the randomizer, this is going to be much, much faster. Since we have the hookshot, we can go straight to the back of the dungeon. Unlike some of the other dungeons, the boss is not protected by the big key, so we can skip the big key entirely.
Yeah, one of the other interesting things about this game, just from a experimenting with game design perspective, is that they used big keys in all the dungeons, but they locked different things behind them. And in this one, only the item is locked behind the big key. There's no big key doors. So in this dungeon, we're going to swim 3 times, but you already saw that we have a way to bypass one of those swims with no flippers. In the first room of the dungeon, we can also bypass the flippers in that room. It's more difficult, but it's still doable. But there's a run at the very end, or a room at the very end of the dungeon that there is no way in this rule set to bypass.
So in that damn screen right there, you could see that I was like, you heard some error noises. I was actually spamming the mirror, and doing that, I believe, teleports the block really far away and lets us walk straight through. So we don't have to do the block puzzle.
I think that's right.
Isn't that another 1.0 exclusive?
It is.
I believe so, yeah.
So in this room here, since we already have the hookshot, we don't need to worry about going into the other room. We can just specky clip through this rail.
Shout outs to randomizer community. Yeah, since we have the hookshot, we can just grab this key real quick and go straight to the back. The entirety of the left side of this dungeon is something we don't have to deal with, which saves a lot of time.
Since this is a glitched run, we don't have to worry about pushing that statue and hitting the block and draining this water back here. We get to do Diver Down.
Right, so placing this block in a specific spot, if I do a set of movements, I can just slowly wiggle through this rail and hop straight down.
So if you remember from the very beginning of the run, the first trick Requiem did was very similar to that in the Uncle to jump off the ledge at the beginning of the game. This is basically an easier setup for doing the same thing by using the Samaria block.
Yeah, if only we had the Samaria block from the beginning of the game. Maybe the Uncle should give us that instead.
So this is the room that we have to have flippers in. There's no way to skip the flipper requirements for this.
Not in the restricted major glitches rule set. There are plenty of ways around it if you want to play major glitches.
Or no logic if you're into a randomizer.
So this is a very cool strat. It's the 0 cycle. I'm not sure if we're going to get it. It looks like
nice.
Oh, nice.
Oh, we did. Nice.
So by killing all those puffs really fast, we can get Argus off the screen before he does his spin attack. It's a really fast boss fight.
All right, so if we can get one quick donation here, and then we'll want to talk a little bit about the next dungeon coming up.
Absolutely. Here's a $500 donation from Kone 2020 that said, 1 ticket for the train, please. Wait, it's only a $5 train? 100 tickets then. Love A Link to the Past. Have a great run. We've crested over 1.88 million and counting. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, definitely. If you're watching this run and you think a lot of this is broken, there is a lot we can show in this glitch showcase, so be sure to hit that target.
So coming up, we have Ice Palace.
Yeah. Requiem was saying earlier that this is his favorite dungeon in the run. It's also mine. I haven't run this category in a while, but this was also my favorite dungeon. I think a pretty popular opinion. You want to tell us what you like about it, Rec?
It is just glitch after glitch after glitch. This is the one split where even the dungeon itself doesn't follow NMG rules, and we clip straight through the boss, straight through to the boss.
Yeah, so we're going to start off by doing another mirror wrap, which is similar to what you saw us do to get into Turtle Rock a few minutes ago.
This one does come with a hard lock risk, so he will have to be careful once he does this mirror wrap portion.
This is a new setup shout-outs to Spaces90, who I believe was the one who discovered this. So that gets us a few tiles away from the entrance, and then we can just walk into the entrance of Ice Palace.
And then we're going to clip through this wall here because it's a diagonal wall. And we know those are just suggestions.
Yeah, we're not too worried about those. And then we're going to do another cool glitch. This was found like 1 week before the glitch Diver Down that we just did in Swamp. This is going to be called Icebreaker, and it allows us to walk through this rail that we're going to come up on in a second.
Rail, wall, I don't know how to categorize this thing.
There we go.
There we go. Easily done.
Do you guys see a wall there? I didn't see a wall there.
And this is important because this tech, I found this tech. You see how Link snapped out of the menu onto the tongue? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take your word on that one.
Yeah, that's actually the most important tech in this run.
So yeah, from here, we're just going to go straight down to Cold Stare.
Yep, so we're going down to Cold Stare. We have 10 hearts, so nothing to be worried about. But Cold Stare is one of the more notorious bosses. Oh, now we have 10
That is
hearts.
not the correct movement, Rek.
Rek was going for a trick there where if you're spinning and sliding diagonally on ice at the same time, you can just clip into that staircase, but it's pretty precise movement, and I don't know, I got an up left instead of a down left or something.
Might have gotten a left input there. That's okay.
Requiem plays on a controller that is like a bag of corn. It has no resistance in any direction. I was trying to use it earlier, and I could not hit cardinals on purpose, so I don't know how he does any of this on that thing. So this is another fight where there is a strat, and the strat works if you do it right, and if you make any small errors, you are suddenly in mortal danger.
Yes.
Hopefully it just goes smoothly. It usually does. Strong start.
Oh,
All right, good enough.
good enough.
Yeah,
Well,
a little bit of a clean.
okay, now it's good enough.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, this boss can be notorious. Fortunately, there's only one puff that escaped, but if we had messed up any of those, then we'd be having a puff party, and you do not want to have a puff party in this game.
So this is our last crystal.
Yeah, we have, so all dungeons is the 3 pendants, which we got a little while ago, the 7 crystals, this is our 7th crystal, and then the 2 towers and escape, which we also did.
So we have Ganon's Tower left.
Ganon's Tower and Aghanim's
and
Tower.
Aghanim's Tower. While this is finishing up, how about we get a donation?
Very importantly, we are now under 27,000 away from that glitch showcase, and in the process of getting that, we will also crest pass 1.9 million. We need you to get those donations in now. 20-ish minutes left in the estimate. Now is the time to do it. Helping with that was a $250 donation from Gaffin64, reminding us of why we're all here. They said, "Hi all, I wanted to donate during one of my favorite Zelda games. I made the Dragapult keyboard you might have seen this morning. To whoever gets it, I hope you love it. I was planning to only donate the keyboard this year, but after seeing the special video from MSF and listening to the heartfelt message from Spike Vegeta, I felt compelled to further share the blessings I have in my life. I am so much more blessed than the people that MSF helps, and as a father, I cannot imagine what I could do if my son was hurt like those kids in the video, but as I am, I can at least do this. Let's get to 2 million. We are not free until we are all free. We are not free until we are all free."
So we don't want to go through the crystal cutscene of opening up Ganon's Tower, so we just clip in.
Yeah,
The door is there, so we don't need to worry about opening the stairs.
we do have 7 crystals, but you know, I go through a cutscene where you can just jump into the door. Now, a lot of Ganon's Tower is very similar to no major glitches. If we had the power of major glitches, we could skip straight to the end if we wish to. Fortunately, that isn't allowed, so we have to play nice.
It's actually, so this is kind of a funny story about this rule set, this category. So we have a newish trick from 2 or 3 years ago. Tricks are not that new in this game. Called Stairmaster, which allows us to actually skip about half of this dungeon. But we sort of decided as a community that that ruins the spirit of the all dungeons run. And so we added a sort of rider to the rule set for all dungeons that says that you have to do GT by actually entering GT from the front. So we cannot skip half of it.
That's okay though. Ganon's Tower is very special. It's the culmination of your journey here. It's a lot of difficult rooms, and at the top level looks absolutely fantastic.
Are you going to show us some top level GT, Rek?
We'll see, we'll see.
The basement of GT is a bunch of puzzle rooms. So when you're playing the game casually, the dungeon is sort of in two parts. There's this huge basement that's sort of a maze. And then once you find the big key at the end of the maze, the top of GT is all totally linear, and it's just like a battalion of combat rooms and boss refights, and then the final boss at the end. So we're just about through with the maze section of the dungeon. We're going to refight Armos. So one of the things we have to do in this tower is refight all 3 Light World bosses. It's a little less obvious which ones were Light World bosses since we did all the bosses out of order. But we're refighting them now with, if this were a normal run, we would have better gear, but actually we just had all the right gear before fighting them. So we're going to pick up our big key here, and then we're going to go into a gauntlet of a bunch of the most difficult rooms in the game. So first up, we're going to be doing the Mimic rooms. So Mimics are these enemies that move based on what direction you're holding on the D-pad. And so we're going to do some very precise inputs in these rooms in order to move the Mimics into our arrow shots, basically. Requiem got the health refill and is now sort of preciously preserving his 1 extra heart in this room for some reason. So we hold our sword out there so that Link walks slower, but the Mimics still move at full speed, which like lines them up for our shots more easily. This room may be actually the most difficult room in the game that isn't a boss room. Requiem having a little bit of trouble with it here, but it is extremely difficult to do correctly.
Those Mimics are just horrible.
It's so much harder than it looks. This is another difficult movement room, and then after the Cannonball Bridge, we're going to come up on the Gauntlet, which is 5 kill rooms, which means that you have to kill all of the enemies in the room. And they all have sort of annoying floors in them. And as the rooms go on, the floors get worse and worse, and there are more and more BMOs shooting lasers at you. So we'll see how it goes. This is, something Requiem is practiced a lot and is good at, but is still so difficult. Like right there, we missed an arrow because the Stalfos went out of the way and had to track him down. That's fine. In this room, this top guy can do a whole loop-de-loop. That wasn't the worst he could do, so.
Yeah. So we fired that arrow because sometimes that top red guy goes to the right and really messes up the room. But if we hit him with that arrow, it kind of pushes him down a little bit and keeps him in the location that we need him in.
So we're through the gauntlet, pretty solid. Now we've got our second boss refight. Requiem just does not want 1 cycles on any land mows. I don't know why.
Unfortunately, they're not giving me good patterns.
We do have to watch our magic, though.
Watch your magic meter.
Yes.
I think we're probably fine. We can lamp stuff if necessary. We
we'll
can
just
also pick up the
magic.
backup.
Yeah.
Very satisfying rooms coming up if you have not seen the speedrun. Beautiful.
Another reason why the Cane of Samaria is probably a favorite for a lot of speedrunners is these 2 Wizrobe rooms. You can get them really fast with the Cane of Samaria.
Real quick, we are under 3,000 away from that 1.9 million. We have only 17,000 left to get that glitch showcase. You are racing Requiem of Spirit. Keep those donations coming, gamers.
Yeah, this run is going pretty well, so you want to get that glitch showcase med. We gotta see that money.
Yep, you gotta. We only have a few rooms left in this this dungeon, and then we have Aga Tower, which will go faster than you think, because we'll have better equipment than we normally would.
Rek, you were telling me when we practiced, you pretty consistently were under the estimate, correct? So we really need to get moving. We are under 1,000 away from that 1.9. Keep those donations coming.
Hey, Rek, don't forget to drop your bombs.
It's okay. We can keep a few bombs for Ganon.
Okay.
Requiem.
1.9 million! Make sure you're putting those donations towards that glitch showcase. You got to specifically select it at the bottom of the donation page. We are under 14,000 away. Get them in now, gamers.
And that was our 3rd boss refight.
$50 here from SG Chatter that said pretty much good luck now. Have this. $10 from School Appropriate that said this is awesome. Can't wait to see Rek perfectly execute Dingle Storage first try. And also $20 here from Mighty Myth that said hello Requiem. I hope you're doing well today because you are very wonderful. You are doing amazing and that was a great basement clip.
Thank you, Mighty.
So we did in fact get Dingle Skip. Oh boy. Oh my god.
That pattern. So this boss is, we call him the geometry wizard for a reason.
Wow. Okay. I did not expect you to deboost there.
A little bit of a clip here to try to save some time. If we can get this bat off screen fast, then we can just exit immediately.
We call that the Clyde.
We call that the Clive. So this is the only dungeon in the run where you don't get a health refill after it, which was why I was a little surprised to see Requiem go for that aggressive deboost there. It's actually totally fine. Nothing in Aga Tower is very scary.
But yeah, we do have one final dungeon, and that is Aghanim's Tower, which just happens to be right here. We can just mirror and enter the dungeon immediately. Now, we are definitely over-leveled for this dungeon. We have the Temperate Sword, which we're not supposed to have. We have a Fire Rod. We have a lot of equipment. So most of this is going to be a breeze through. We are coming very close to the
that'd
end
be
here.
really nice.
And yeah,
Very nice,
to get rid of the beeping in case you do not like the beeping.
So at the top of this dungeon is the big RNG check in the run. The boss can do one of two, well, he's got a whole cycle, a whole pattern, whatever, but on most of his attacks, he can do one of two attacks, and on one of them, we can hit him, and on the other, we can't, and he can just cost us almost as much time as he wants on that. So in this category, that RNG check is at the very end of the run, which some people, like myself, find freeing. You kind of have a good run, and then you find out what time you get at the end. Other people find it very frustrating to have the RNG check at the end of the run, but...
We are under 10K away from that glitch showcase. You are racing, Requiem. Keep those donations coming.
We are
Come on,
very
chat.
close to the end.
You can do it, I believe you. Oh, that's a bonk.
If we get really bad luck, then you have a little bit more time to donate.
It's true.
Conversely, good luck means even less
Time. So let's not leave anything to chance, and let's get those donations in.
Real quick helping with that was a $10 donation from our great friend Slowpoke, who said naturally, donating during the best Zelda game ever, Wand of Gamelon. Ooh, some Wand fans, and let's go. Thank you, Slowpoke, great friend.
All right, so we do have some more flashing lights. This should be the last flashing light section, but Aghanim is gonna zap Zelda.
Yeah, we rescued Zelda
Yeah.
like a few minutes ago, but somehow she ended up here, and she's getting teleported away, where we're never going to see her again. So say goodbye to Zelda.
She's getting teleported away to Turtle Rock, I think. We also just defeated Aghanim, by the way.
Yeah, where did this guy come from? Didn't we just defeat him? Didn't he turn into a bat? Any lore experts want to explain what's going on in my video game?
Oh yeah, you were threatening to ask me lore questions earlier.
So yeah, this is all RNG here. So if you want to get another donation in, are we getting closer?
We are 4,500 away. We're getting so close, and we're also like right at the end of the game here. Helping with that was $1,000 from Incoherent. They said, I have played a lot of Link to the Past, and this looks all very normal to me. Under 4,000 away, keep them coming.
So that's one. We got one blue ball attack. That's the bad attack when it splits into 6 smaller balls. We can keep getting donations until you see Link hit the Dark World.
My pleasure. $250 here from DJ Crabhat said, big ups to Fox and Twin and Requiem. Link to the Past, best speedrun of all time. We are just over that 3,000 away. Come on, chat. We can keep doing it. There's 3,000! Come on, we're so close. $250 here from Jay that said, I tried to make a Link to the Past pun, but it was a little try-forced. Under 2,000! Ignore the pun, we didn't say it. Keep going. $1,000 here from Anonymous that said, my wife and I are watching, and we used to play a Link to the Past all the time together. We used to trade off dungeons, but I didn't realize you could just skip through them so easily. Thanks for the great run, and looking forward to the glitch showcase. Just over 1,000 away. Oh, come on. Under 1,000, we're so close.
All right, so we just have this little bit of text left here on top of the pyramid. We will get a refill, which is very handy because we're going to be dropping.
Requiem, you're going to be showing off some glitches for us right after this. Down to the wire.
Right on time, too, because we are down to the final boss of the video game. This is Ganon.
In Ganon's first pattern, there's 4 locations that he can warp to, and I'm pretty sure Requiem knows how to do 3 of them.
I can do all 4. Surely.
So we have to hit Ganon 12 times with the Tempered Sword?
Yeah, spins count as 2 hits, and slashes count as 1. And there we go. So we're into phase 3 now. Phase 3 is another RNG check. He can warp as many times as he wants. Whenever he lands, he can either warp or let us hit him. Like that, he warps.
This is the other RNG check in this run, where he could just keep warping. In theory, you could be stuck here forever.
I have definitely lost runs to just getting 20 warps.
Okay, so we are going to try to light the left lamp before the right lamp goes out. And if we do that...
Oh, ho, ho.
Okay. Well,
Comfy.
the right lamp will never go out now. So we're able to get, hopefully, 3 spins in between each lamp light.
That is not a 1.0 exclusive glitch, but it was eventually fixed. I think it's in 1.2 and not US. I don't know. Don't listen to me. I'm spreading misinformation. All right.
Do you know when it was found that you didn't need silvers to beat Ganon?
I know that Crystal was the first runner to do runs with it. I don't know when the tech was found.
Okay.
But that was when it
that's
became
Ganon down.
viable. GG Requiem. Nice run.
Very nice run, Rec.
Time is when we enter the Triforce room as the fade out is happening. And time.
Nice run.
GG.
But yeah, no, that was definitely a wonderful run, especially in like a showcase setting. So I believe if we have any important donations to give here, we could definitely go for those, or we could jump straight to the Glitch Showcase.
A few very large and very generous donors came through in the time to help us make sure we met this Glitch Showcase in time. A very large one also just crossed my desk. I want to make sure we have a moment to shout it out. $10,000 from the Yeti. The Yeti is just incredible timing, as always, and I'll have one follow-up after this, if that's all right.
Oh, yeah, sure.
They said, hey all, Yeti here. We've been blown away by the support for our official SGDQ collection so far. We are counting. Whether you picked up a shirt, pin, or something else, thank you. Proceeds from every item sold go directly to Doctors Without Borders, and that's only possible because of this incredible community. Visit theyeti.com to grab yours before the event is over. Also, the other one I mentioned, a really important one that crossed a couple moments ago when we were trying to figure out where to put this in, $100 from the Cool Maddie. This one's a bit of a long one, so buckle in for a moment here, team. Cool Maddie said, hey GDQ, it's me, Cool Maddie. I'm sorry for missing all the action in person this year. Unfortunately, as I was getting ready to head out to the event, I was informed that my father had passed away. My father, who was also my grandfather because he adopted me when I was younger, has raised me since I was born. It was and still is a very hard time for me. I never had a proper father. He was everything to me. He was a practical jokester and a lover of classic cars, but as a retired firefighter, he also knew the seriousness of medical care when no one else is around. He loved to see the work GDQ has done. I've been sitting here watching the rest of the event because I couldn't miss it for the world. I'm so proud of everyone's efforts. For those of you who watched the documentary yesterday and heard Spike's speech, I hope you take it to heart. What you're doing here is unrelenting good. Even if you couldn't spare a single dollar and all you could do was spread the word, you are still making a difference. Also, to the GDQ staff, please listen. Thank you so much for picking up the mantle while I've been out once again. Even though I lost someone near and dear to me, I know that I still have GDQ to help fill that void. I love each and every one of you dearly, and I miss you all so much. I can't wait to make it back to the next event to see you all in person again. I hope to never have to miss an event again for something like this. However, I also know that my dad would have wanted me to push forward and make it happen. He was the one who pushed me to come back the first time after my major illness in 2023. He wouldn't want me to stay away for very long. Count on me to be back at AGDQ. Thank you so much, Maddie.
All right, yeah. Thank you, Maddie, for that wonderful message. But yeah, we did hit that donation incentive, and so we can jump straight into that. You're seeing the SNES Classic menu here and the wonderful music that it comes with. So before we jump right in, if you saw that entire run and you thought, wow, this is super broken. What do you mean this is restricted major glitches? What more can you do? It turns out there's a whole class, or like multiple different classes of glitches that completely change how you play the game within dungeons. Completely breaks the game. Everything looks different. So why don't we just get started? Let's go into our first glitch here. Go ahead, get that timer started. So we're swimming against a diagonal wall. If you saw the previous run, you know diagonal walls are just a suggestion. And, you know, just like with that one, with the right set of inputs, I'm already swimming straight through the floor. I can only swim left, but when I enter this cave, I can swim freely. I'm still bounded by collision, so let's fix that. If I swim down these stairs and back up them, I can now swim freely. We are now swimming through the underworld, through the vast expanse. This is called exploration swimming, a close cousin to the exploration glitch. And just like with EG, you know, the very well-known party trick of walking under the floor for about 3 minutes and walking straight to Ganon, with this trick, instead of walking, you can swim to Ganon and into the Triforce. Now, unfortunately, you can hear the music. Because you were swimming, the Triforce room doesn't render correctly. The only thing you see at the very top is that swim texture, which I'm controlling with my D-pad. But no, that's fine. If you're doing this as a party trick, just cut the tapes. No one needs to know this is illegal.
Excuse me, as a leaderboard mod, please do not just cut the tapes.
Now, EG, exploration swimming are super powerful, but they trivialize almost everything in this game. Every screen you can visit with just that trick, and so no logic randomizers, some speedruns, it's just completely banned. So what else do we have in store? We have a whole class of tricks called transition corruption tricks. In this particular case, I'm going to try to use you saw before we used the mirror on transition, and we used that to get to dungeons of the overworld. Here, I'm going to try to use a potion on the same frame I take this transition. The green potion, which normally only refills magic, in this case also fills my health. Now the game thinks I've taken this transition, so when I actually take it, we scroll past the screen with the big key door, straight into the screen with the lava and the pipes. Now that was kind of necessary actually. The big key is in that chest right there, and if you watched our run, we had to make a very large detour to get that. So you know what, let's go try to get that big key. Now I could walk backwards and get it, but you know, that's kind of boring. So instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull a Samaria block into this door with me. Now, when I try to take this transition, you're going to see a huge flash, and we actually took this transition twice. We have loaded data from that lava screen onto this one, turning this big chest into that small chest containing the big key. Because the big chest is closed, we can open this infinitely many times. Now, we also changed pit data, so this pit, which would normally damage us, instead wrong warps us to a cave in the light world, which if you exit here, you'll see, it comes with dark world music, because the game thought we were in the dark world. Samaria transition corruptions, which we just did, are super useful for these kind of wrong warps. But speaking of wrong warps, we can go to that screen that we just copied over. So what would happen if you fall into this pit instead? Normally, you can't. You can never fall into that lava. You would think you would take damage, but that's not actually the case. We're going to use a different potion in this door, if I can get to the edge. It just so turns out that the effect you get depends on the transition you're in and the potion you're using. So here, using a red potion on this door, we instead get a fade out. Now, taking the transition, we scroll past the top of the screen, into the bottom, fall into the lava, and we end up in Aghanim's arena, at the top of Ganon's tower. Very colorful palette, too. Who knew both Aghanim and Link were allies? But yeah, these tricks were super useful. We're skipping past walls, we're wrong warping to different parts of the dungeon, we're going past doors that are locked. Not everything is useful, though. I'm in Desert Palace, just a few screens before Landmo, and I'm going to try another one of those potion and door glitches, which we call YBAs here, except I'm going to add a spin to this one.
The Y in YBA stands for Yuzu.
Yeah.
He's just everywhere in this game.
He is.
He discovered so much.
Also, there is some graphical corruption.
I can control when this resolves. Huge photosensitivity warning. If you do not do well with flashing lights and moving objects, this is going to be very messy. I implore you to look away for like 90 seconds. We'll let you know when to look back. So when you add a spin to this YBA, you get this. This is actually a SNES Classic exclusive. If you listen carefully, you're hearing the boss music. It's actually skipping 1 beat every 4 beats or something like that. I don't know why this happens. On the SNES Classic, this takes 50 seconds to resolve, and on a regular console, it resolves immediately. But you know, while the SNES Classic is struggling to process our request, when you add a spin to that kind of YBA, it's actually going to transport me like 4 or 5 screens ahead, so straight from where I was into Landmo's room. Hold, please. Your request is still processing.
If anybody who actually knows how spin YBAs is listening, don't get mad at Requiem for explaining it that way.
Yeah. We don't want to talk about super tiles. And as you can see, if you can't tell, that's Landmo. Now, from this point, we can save and quit, but unfortunately, saving and quitting doesn't fix this. So that's what the main menu looks like. And this is what Link's house looks like. So if you wanted to, you could start a new game and play with the entire game looking like this. And you might think, wow, that's a terrible idea. Who would do that? Like, sometime last year, a bunch of us in the Link to the Past community decided, yep, we wanted to do this. I think Fox actually had to tap out early.
I made it about halfway.
Yeah, I had to use the SNES Classic Rewind functionality to cheat my way through because I wasn't going to finish otherwise. It was a terrible idea. Would not recommend. Please don't do it.
But we'll probably end up doing it again at some point.
Probably.
Yeah. But yeah, sorry, if you had to look away, you can look back now. We've cleared the bad graphics off screen. I want to move on to a different class of glitches, one that affects how the hookshot works. So hookshot, ubiquitous item, works pretty simple in 2D Zelda games. You know, you hook in a specific direction, and when it latches on, it pulls Link in that direction for the distance that you hooked. Very straightforward. We're going to break that. So I'm going to try to place a Samaria block out of bounds. So this is what a Samaria block normally does. You can interact with it, you can pick it up, you can throw it. An out of bounds Samaria block, I can't interact with it. If I slash this way, that just breaks the block entirely. Now, this block is what allows this to happen. It's going to make it such that that sword beam that I sent into that pot is going to determine how the hookshot behaves. So on hooking this pot, instead of going upwards, we're going to get shot straight to the left, past this wall, into Armos's room. Now, hook pushing is what that trick is called, is very, very useful, especially in like randomizer. If you have any room where you can hook a pot, then you can turn that into a brilliant hook push setup to go past walls, doors, anything you like. And I could go through like all these different hook push setups, but I actually have something else I want to look at with that out of bounds Samaria block that I just created. So we're going to Mothula's Arena here. And the reason we're going to Mothula's Arena is because it's the only place where we have a hookable target. So I'm going to create one of these blocks again. And I'm going to try to kill Mothula as fast as I can. Hopefully this is still fine. Nope, we got rid of our block. So one of the annoying things with this is that the block can disappear very fast. So I'm going to try one more time. And if it doesn't work out, we do have a rewind set up so I can just play the movie files. Have to wait Mothula to get off the top here, so we're gonna have to wait for a while. Oh.
Ooh, is that gonna work?
All right, let's go. You can tell, so you can tell that the block is on screen. You can see it there, and it's actually affecting the way the hookshot works. It turns out the item that you get from this crystal also shares a memory address with what determines how far you get pulled by the hookshot. So every time I hook this block, you can see the crystal is changing colors. And so when I pick it up now, we get the mirror. And after that, it immediately teleports us out of the dungeon. Now, this is a one-time only trick, but, you know, with the power of rewind, which I talked about, we can go back and we can, you know, mess with this a bit more. If I spam this a whole bunch of times, we might even get some different item. All right, what's this? Turns out that's a bottle. This is very useful in major glitch speedruns, especially ones that don't care about how you get the item. So, you know, very useful out-of-bounds Samaria block there. You can use it to hook push, you can get these moth items. There is something very important that I sort of brushed under the rug there, but before we get to that, it seems like we have some pretty important donations to cover here.
We've gotten so many in, especially since that amazing message from Maddie, and this donation I'm going to read real quick, it pretty much puts it exactly how I need it while we process whatever is happening on that screen. A simple 100 here from Cyberwolf1201 that just simply said, for those who come after. And that's the biggest thing here. Keep in mind, while we have this glitch showcase unlocked, SGDQ is not over yet. We're still pushing for that $2 million incentive to unlock Super Dram World 3. We are just under 55,000 to go on that. Keep those donations coming in, and especially if you are an E33 fan like Cyberwolf was, we do have 2 bid wars open right now, both to choose the ending and to choose the voice language. Be sure to select those at the bottom. Do not let this momentum stop as we push towards finale. We want to hit that 2 million, and we want to push way further beyond to make sure we continue supporting the cause that is MSF. Am I right? Fantastic to hear. Thank you for your time. Back to the glitches.
Right, so you're looking at the screen. The text looks super weird. I killed Mothula with a boomerang. Now, if you've played Zelda games before, the boomerang is a stunning item, not a killing item. So what happened there? It so turns out that earlier this year, February this year, we discovered a way to change the entire enemy and boss damage tables, and the magic happens in Skullwoods. I want to end up in that tree above me, so I'm going to use another hook push setup. This one looking slightly different from the one you just saw. Instead of an out-of-bounds Samaria block, I'm going to get an out-of-bounds hook shot here. All right, nice. And now on hooking this tree and facing upwards, we have infinitely opening doors. That guy in the bottom left of the screen, he's frozen down to 1 frame per second. What's going on? So every time you open a door, or you pick up a bush, or you pick up a rock, it's filling up a position in memory. It's filling up a buffer in memory. But because we're opening this door infinitely, it's going to overfill that buffer and start writing to the memory beyond that. And so if we sit here for 6 whole minutes, then we will eventually end up writing all of the enemy and boss damage tables with the position of this door. So I guess we're sitting here for 6 minutes. You guys come here often?
There is actually a speedrun that does this, where there's a speedrun called All Bosses Swordless, and for a long time it was like all bosses except Ganon swordless, until in February we found out that finally we have a way to actually kill Ganon without ever getting the sword, and so poor Visa Cat just has to sit here and twiddle his thumbs for 6 minutes.
You could, of course, do something like play chess or do our 1 minute any % category. Now, of course, I've already spoiled it. We do have a save state. We don't actually have to sit there for 6 minutes. That very custom hook push setup that I used there is specifically to get us out of this spot. So on releasing the hook shot, we can come out and test our new weapons here. So this guy, you can tell that my sword just doesn't work on him. Neither does my hook shot. But if we switch to the boomerang, he just dies in 1 shot. And that's what this has done. Most of our weapons here are not going to do damage, but the boomerang and 1 other weapon are doing a ton of damage. The other one being the bombs. So we're back in Ice Armor's room. The boss, which normally takes 18 arrows, instead, if I place these bombs correctly, we could kill them in just a few bombs. There we go, just 3 bombs, and that kills the entirety of Ice Armos. Now, normally, you can see I have, like, the Tempered Sword normally does, 4 damage to enemies? These bombs and boomerangs are doing 64 damage. And you hear that and you think, okay, wow, that's a big number. What's so special about that? It's not just the enemies that you can interact with, it's not the enemies that you can slash. Even other things that Link's sword can interact with are fair game for this trick. So we're back in Moth's Arena. I mentioned before, the true enemy of this room is not Moth, but the spikes. And sure enough, these spikes can be killed as well. And it's not just the spikes. Things like bumpers, things like fireball shooters, things like the laser eyes in Turtle Rock, all of those are fair game, and much more. I used a different tree in Skullwoods this time to change how much damage the powder does. I'm in Kakariko Village, and you might be thinking, there are no enemies in Kakariko Village. What are we doing here?
Don't do it, Rek. Don't do it.
Hi, Grandma.
No, Rek.
It's okay, you guys didn't see that. Oh, wow, he's scared. He's running away. No, guys, don't worry. If we go back to this screen, she comes back, trust me. Look, there we go, she's right there. All right, we'll leave her be. It's okay. We have a few more little test subjects down south here. Now, I am super sad that Super Metroid isn't here. The classic save the animals versus save the frames. For the next time we have that, I do want to place my vote early. We definitely want to save the frames.
Oh yeah, let's kill those animals.
Now, I could go around showcasing how powerful these items are against every enemy in the world, every boss, and there's some truly wonderful things you can do. You can kill landmos while they're still under the floor. You can kill enemies you've never thought of interacting with before. But the best way to crown it off is to showcase what these weapons do to Ganon. Now, I have the same powder again, but Ganon isn't the only thing in this room that we can hit. We can also use the powder on his trident. And when you do that, you're all now in a staring contest. Ganon is now throwing a tantrum. He's not going to let you leave. The unfortunate part of this is that in Phase 1 and Phase 2, you cannot kill Ganon. So I could sit here powdering all day, and it just won't happen. So instead, you know what? Let's see how far we can go here. I'm going to rewind. I'm going to make sure that Ganon doesn't throw his temper tantrum. we're instead going to fight him, and you're going to find that just one powder is enough to end this phase. As soon as he enters the second phase, he's going to start with his Fire Bat cycle, and one more powder in this cycle ends this phase too. We do have to wait a while, and you're thinking, okay, well, this doesn't feel very special. You know, you have to sit here, you have to dodge these bats, and finally, now that he's in phase 3, you can damage him, you can actually kill him in this phase. And he's dead. Now you're looking at that, you're thinking, okay, I want better. That wasn't fast enough. We had to go through 2 whole phases to get to that. Well, I have something very special for you. This is going to be the last thing I showcase here. I had another tree in Skullwoods change how the Quake Medallion acts against enemies. Now, don't blink. Do not close your eyes. This is going to be the fastest Ganon fight you will see. Now, for the lore experts here, if you're wondering, who is Ganon? Is Ganon a beast? Ganon a pig? Nope. Turns out Ganon's a blob all along. He gives us a heart for our troubles. And just like with the run, that's the game. That was the last thing I had for you today. Huge shout outs to all of our glitch hunters who helped discover this. This glitch was only discovered in February, and right then, within a few weeks, we had a full map of exactly what you can do with this glitch, what trees you can use, and how you can affect these enemies. So huge shout outs to them. Huge shout outs to the community in general. If you saw this glitch showcase and you thought, wow, this is super cool, I want to see more of this, do check out some past GDQ BOS. Shout outs to Glenn here. Glenn did another glitch showcase for his 2021 AGDQ run. So go check that out. If you want to get hands down and play the game yourself, shout outs to the whole Link to the Past community. We do urge you to join that community if you want to play this. Or if speedruns aren't your thing, shout outs to the glitch randomizer community as well. There's a huge glitch randomizer tournament going on, so that's really nice. And yeah, if you enjoyed what you saw here, I'm playing more of this game. I also am going to play Breath of the Wild. That's your cup of tea. You know where to find me. Twitch.tv/RequiemOfSpirit. Before we hand it off, my lovely couch, do you guys want to shout out anything? Do you guys want to say anything more?
I just want to remember one of our past community members. This is not Yoho. We really miss him.
Yeah, Yoho was a wonderful friend. Unfortunately, we lost him too early in 2025, so Yoho, if you're listening in, this was for you. Yeah, Fox, anything you'd like to shout out?
Yeah, shout outs to Yoho, shout outs to all the glitch runners around, Chex we talked about, Yuzu of course. I think Mr. Beyer found that hook push setup that you were showing off there a minute ago, and also did a TAS of this category recently. If you're into TASes, you can go watch his All Dungeons TAS, really cool. I'm not going to try to do an exhaustive list or anything, but shout outs to everybody in the Link to the Past community. Again, find our Discord, come join us, come hang out. We're pretty friendly.
Yep.
Always looking for new people.
We may tease you a little bit, but no, it's all in love.
But yeah, thank you, Zen. You've been a wonderful host. I'd like to hand it back to you.
Yeah, real quick, I just want to say thank you all so much for being here. Truly an incredible run, the amount you showed and how much you have helped us raise to get us to that 1.96 million and counting. And for everybody still listening, make sure you do not let that momentum stop as we push to that 2 million. We've got prizes coming up in just a moment here, but we want to make sure we get that Super Dram World 3 unlocked. With that, prizes, take it away.